So Scott joined the Sun Sentinel on December 30th, 1999, if you want to trust Workday. So I started thinking, that's 19 years. What all has Scott done in 19 years? So I went into Media Server, another of our fine systems, and did a byline search for it. And I came up with 1,006 stories. And I thought, that can't be right, because that's only like 53 stories a year for 19 years. And then I realized it only went back to 2007 or to 2017. So if you calculate that over 19 years, we can figure Scott's approaching 10,000 stories during his Sun Sentinel career. Isn't that impressive? That's a lot of stories. But then I thought, I'm going to calculate even further. How many typos is that in 10,000 stories? So most of Scott's editors would tell you he makes about 3 typos per story. So that's like 30,000 typos.
Does that count my Twitter typos too?
That does not count Twitter. And it also does not count when he refers to our governor as Governor Rick DeSantis. Now, I don't want any of you to aspire to 30,000 typos, because Scott's got you beat by a mile. You will never catch him. But what I think you could aspire to, seriously, is the way that Scott approaches his job. He is a model for a beat reporter. He knows his subject, education. He knows the history of the people and the institutions that he covers. And more importantly, he is always out to expose the truth about them. Scott doesn't go to a school board meeting to write down what happens. He goes to find out what they're trying to hide, or to deny, or to spin, or to threaten. Scott is a big reason that all of us are sitting here today and we can say that we won a Pulitzer Prize. He was a main cog in everything that we did. And I just want to recount some of those stories. Unprepared and overwhelmed, Scott was involved in that. Hide, deny, spin, threaten. The school's culture of tolerance. Florida schools covering up crimes. I just love reading these headlines still. What's being done to stop another school shooting? Now, unfortunately, this sometimes tends to overshadow the work that Scott does just week after week and year after year for 19 years. He's raised questions about the school bond program, about administrative pay, campaign violations, misbehaving teachers, school security, and a lot more than that. So, one other thing I don't want to forget, which you already brought up, is that Scott is just kind of a monster on social media. I went on his Twitter, he's tweeted 7,000 times over 11 years. He's got 4,200 followers. And some of them are probably confused rap fans, I'll admit that. But mostly they're people that are looking to find out the straight scoop about what's going on with their schools. And the last thing I will say about Scott that is probably more telling than anything in the Broward schools is that those people are scared of him. They know that he is out to get the truth. You know, they'll call him unfair. He's not unfair. He's just unyielding, and he's a dogged journalist, and that's why I'm happy to give him this Pettijohn.
It all.